Welcome to the Beastlands. Here, the only law is of the jungle, the only call of the wild. But all is not balanced in these happy hunting grounds, and when aberrant scars of the planescape's great conflicts tarnish these lands, only the noble unicorn knights can preserve the natural order. Or at least their recent contractors can give it their best shot. The quarry is clear, the trail warm. It's time to assemble our hunting party.
Hello and welcome to a little horror hunting D&D campaign, folks. My name is Austin, your friendly neighborhood dungeon master, and much like how the present-day animal phyla began during the Cambrian explosion 538 million years ago, today our players begin our new campaign.
What the fuck are you saying? What did you just say?
Much like how the present-day animal phyla, the taxonomy of modern-day extant species of animal, began during the Cambrian explosion. This is a big explosion of life that was started almost 540 million years ago. Just like how they started then, we're starting our campaign now.
I love that. I love it. If your bit this time around is animal facts, I'm totally in for it. So.
My bit this time around is animal facts, and we have Victoria to thank for that because I've been beating my head against a wall trying to come up with one for weeks.
Amazing. Thank you, Victoria.
And then I was talking to her about it last night, and she was like, "You just talk about animals because that's what you know." I was like, "Oh, that's a good point." Anyway, I said our players begin their new campaign, but as you may have noticed, there is only one player today. Noir, go ahead, say hello.
Hi, how's it going?
If you haven't heard, if it's still a secret to you, we are doing introductory episodes for every character, which means that this first episode is this solo session for Noir. Next week will be someone else assembling our myriad heroes before the mid-season finale, which is an experiment. This is the first one, so we'll see how it goes. I'm excited to see what happens, as I'm sure all of you are, because not only is this the first solo, this is the first episode of our new campaign.
Woo!
Welcome to the Beastlands. This is campaign rolling with difficulty, campaign 3, hunting party.
Hunting party. Hell yeah.
Hunting party. I want to say happy hunters because it's the happy hunting
Yeah.
grounds, but it's hunting party. So we hope you're as excited as we are. If you want to engage more with other people who are excited about it, then you should check out our Discord. Go into our Discord server and chat with other people. They do live reactions to the episodes, which is super awesome and fun to read through. And if you want to get even more involved, you could check out our Patreon with various levels of membership that get you things like monthly articles and behind the scenes stuff, or even monthly hangouts with the crew of the, I still think of us as the crew of the Preorder, with the crew of rolling with difficulty.
Yeah.
All right. Sophia asked me to do a bit, but I'm staunchly against following orders. So instead, we're going to jump right into our episode. So without any further ado, we are going to begin campaign 3, season 1, episode 1. Of Rolling with Difficulty Hunting Party.
Let's do it.
Noir, what is the first thing that Kireek remembers after he was taken?
It's fuzzy, but he remembers bright lights. He remembers being worked on, like a surgeon type figure sort of hovering over him, and he remembers the pain, the excruciating pain that came with it.
These fuzzy memories of your first days, weeks, maybe months aboard the Nautiloid, it's hard to tell as you drift in and out of consciousness. But the pain, you remember clearly, awash in that strange purple bioluminescent light that fills the interior of the mindflayer's crafts.
Mm-hmm.
You flash back to those times, the scalpels, the tools, the saws. You flash back to the memory of the surgeon standing over you, eyes wet and black and glossy, tentacles squirming with what could almost be called the light. as he works upon his creation. We move forward some time, an unknown amount of time, to roughly about 8 months ago. Noir, please describe what Kireek looks like in the present. Or 8 months ago, but what was the day that the Nautiloid crashed.
Mm-hmm. An apparition of his former self. Any Kenku resemblance is quickly usurped by all of the mindflayer additions that have been added to him. Areas of his body are swollen and engorged in a painful manner. A number of stitches and stitches cover his body in all sorts of places. He has some limbic additions, a second arm from his left hand that splits at the elbow, the addition of a mindflayer head grafted onto his right shoulder, tentacles sort of snaking down his arm, a third eye that has grown on the side of his head.
Though your body is damaged, deformed, pieced back together with new additions, by far the worst of the scars are on the inside. The things that they did to your brain to make you the weapon that you have become.
Yeah.
Though time passes strangely, and it dulls your senses, you've always had some awareness of what's going on outside of the salubrious pod where you spend the bulk of your time.
Mm-hmm.
You feel the telltale vibration of the plane shift, the sensation of the Nautiloid taking flight. Then, a strangeness, a wrongness. The ship seems to slow. That purple light that fills the ship's interior dims. Everything seems to tilt, to tip slightly. And then, a figure in front of you, as the door opens, kind of oscillates, like an iris pulls open. You see, illuminated, just in silhouette, a mindflayer who rises off the ground and drifts towards you. The mindflayer that you have come to know as Vivisector Usveljoth, the Sever and the Sinew, now stands before you, distorted by the strange gel and almost glass that makes up the outside of this tank you're in. You see he waves a hand, and that gelatinous, that viscous mixture drains down, emptying below your feet. You sink to the ground. The clear carapace of your tank opens. And as you begin to get to your feet, having not stood in days, weeks, it's hard to know how much time has passed. Veljoth, that one's going to take a couple tries, places a slimy hand upon your moist cheek.
Scythe and Subjugate, you are needed. Our final victory is at hand, but not if you cannot fulfill your part in it. We have trespassers. Kill them. Boil the brains in their skulls and teach them the meaning of pain.
In Usveljoth hears a response in the exact same voice of Usveljoth's.
As you command.
You see that without another word, Usveljoth rises off the ground and drifts out again. And as you begin to walk, following out into the kind of spiraling hallway of the interior of the Nautiloid, you hear the sounds of fighting, of spellcraft, and swords. Kireek, what would you like to do?
So Kireek has broken his mind flare programming at this point, but still has to maintain the illusion as he waits for an opportune moment to break from his captors. I think he will head in the movement of where he hears the sounds of battle coming, and he wonders if this is the moment.
Wondering if this is the moment, I think that seed, that like little piece of hope that you have to hold on to, but nonetheless hurts to hold on to, what if you're wrong, blossoms a little as you move down the corridor, and you turn to see that there are a handful of figures slaughtering the mind killers, the swarm of intellect devourers given new form and flight and new abilities that have come into the hallway. You watch as the last of them dies. There is a pale elf wearing a black cloak that sparkles, who extinguishes, puts one down flame, and you see that there are a couple others in the background that seem to be like rangers, just like two that are holding bows firing, and then the closest to you, a red-skinned hobgoblin who pulls a short sword out of one of these creatures. You see that there is some party, whose Beljoth must have been referring to. These intruders have just made short work of the forces that have been thrown at them. And as this hobgoblin pulls his sword, he looks at you and he says, "Not tired yet? Come on." He goes to raise his sword against you, and the elf puts a hand on his shoulder and says, "Hold on." He turns and he looks at her and says, "Oh, come, not this again." She says, "No, there's something... This one's different." Hello?
You have made your presence known.
Both of them are a little taken aback by the voice, but they continue to listen.
I was sent here to stop you. I am not here to fulfill that command.
They look at each other. You really think it's a good idea to trust him, Ophelia? I've got a sense for these things. I think we're going to need his help. Well, I've never been particularly picky on allies. You got a name, friend?
They know me as the Scythe and the Subjugate. But in these times I have forged a new name for myself.
Kireek.
All right, Kireek. Lead us to the brain. And that is where your memory gets a little bit fuzzy. You have flashes of the fight. But whether it's the adrenaline, whether it's the residual effects of the scarring on your brain just coming out of suspended animation, or maybe some strange interference between all of those things and the psychic damage that you take during these attacks, the memory comes in bits and starts. You remember being in the helm room, in the pool room with the elder brain. You remember the mind flayers and the fight, people being stunned, people falling. But what you remember most clearly is as the ship begins to falter, the elder brain lying in pieces, running to escape. How does Kireek escape the crashing nautiloid?
Has he spotted Usveljoth during this time, or does he not remember?
Make me a perception check.
Okay. 12.
You don't remember whether Usveljoth was in that final room or not.
Okay. I think he doesn't remember the details, but he does remember being stricken by a pang of fear. He remembers just needing to get away. And I think as he sees the nautiloid crashing down, he'll find a segment where the ship opens, or maybe there's like a gash on its side that kind of wrenched it open, and he just jumps.
You find where, after the elder brain having died, the ship has started to kind of come apart from the force, crashes against some mountain, ripped open, you look down at the forest and snow beneath you. You throw yourself from the ship. And that is when your dream ends. You awake in the present day, some 8 months later, as the first drops of water fall onto your face. You look up into the sky, and though all you can see are branches and leaves and the dense primeval forest canopy that is over you, you know that you are on the first layer of the Beastlands, Kragala, the world of eternal sun, and that this rainstorm that comes once every 24 hours is a signifier of a new day. Kireek, you awake in the rainforest that is just south of the... Do they have north and south of the Beastlands? That is just south of the Forbidden Plateau, rested, recharged, and ready to continue your hunt. Kireek, what would you like to do?
I think in this moment, the thing is an aberration, not of the Beastlands. He will look for evidence in the rainforest that seems to go against what the natural ecosystem is doing, like broken branches that shouldn't be there, trampled leaves that shouldn't be there. Trying to basically hunt for a direction that this thing is going in.
Fantastic, yes. Coming to consciousness, you remember why you were here, having spent the last good deal of time hunting loose aberrations that are have found their way into the Beastlands because of the mindflayer's destroyed ship or ships. You are here chasing what you firmly believe, you have not yet seen it, but what you firmly believe to be a hulking brain. You have seen them before, you've even worked with them a little bit, and the telltale signs are there. The size of the footprints and shape of the footprints and things like that you found so far after you'd heard rumors of the destruction that was happening in the rainforest here. Why it's happening now is unclear to you, because this thing, like, presumably it was moving before you would have heard of it. It's quite large. Most of the things you've been chasing so far have been much smaller, mostly the mind killers, like I mentioned before, or other intellect devourers, unchanged intellect devourers that are just wandering around. So this is pretty hefty to have escaped your notice. But the good news is that, though you didn't hear of it before, it's pretty easy to track. So picking up the trail of the hulking brain after having rested, we're going to enter a skill challenge. So you want to start looking for evidence of it moving through the forest of unnatural motions. Yeah, broken branches, things like that. Absolutely a good call. This is traditionally a survival. I think that also a perception or investigation would be appropriate.
Investigation is definitely what he will go for.
Okay. Go ahead and make me a roll. This is a pretty easy DC. Let me bring up, actually, before I announce it. These creatures are not subtle or stealthy. So we're going to take... it is normally just a... Jesus Christ. Yeah, it's normally just a DC 12 to follow these. We're going to increase it to a DC 13 because you've been asleep for a little while.
Okay.
But what did you roll?
I rolled a 19.
Okay, hell yeah. Yeah. You have a keen eye for these sorts of things, so as you begin following around, you're less following like actual tracks, so much as you can kind of pick up Sherlock brain style, Sherlock Mind Palace style, what has happened here. And so you see, scraped, you see a log that is overturned, but not evenly. It's kind of been kicked on the side, and you're sure, like, yep, that is done by a massive creature that has no sense of pain, that just, like, kind of moved its leg through this area and kicked this log and rolled it over. And then looking in that direction, indeed, you can see some snapped off branches right about where the shoulders, the two sets of shoulders, are at their widest, and you set off after it. That is success number 1. What would you like to do next? Keeping in mind that you can use class abilities for this the skill challenge, if you have any that apply, but the only thing you cannot do is reuse a skill you've already used.
There aren't many class abilities that help Kireek. I do have, I don't know if we can maybe like change the flavor of it, but I do have sharpened senses. You make a wisdom perception check to detect hidden creatures, doors, objects, or traps in your immediate surroundings, focusing your senses psionically to grant you advantage on the check. So, well, maybe if I detect that I'm getting closer, I might use that to...
Yeah, you want to hold on to that?
Yeah, to try and detect hidden creatures.
That sounds great. I can also give you a couple things that you might run into along the way if you would like to know some of the challenges you can overcome.
Sure, yeah.
So on top of following this creature, you're also going to have to keep your energy up. So looking for food or water that you can consume to keep yourself going. There are other animals in the jungle here that you probably don't want to run across. So making sure that you give any potential predators or other large creatures that could be a problem, like animals that might be territorial or anything, is also important. There are lots of ledges and things like that, like smallish cliffs that you can work your way down if you want to try to climb down instead of having to go around big obstacles. Those are all sorts of things that you're going to run into during your trek.
Okay. I would like to try and do a nature check. Now I'm trying to figure out how this is distinct from a survival check. Because nature is more of intelligent.
There's definitively a lot of overlap.
Okay, yeah, like factual information about the ecology of this rainforest. Can I use that to figure out when I'm entering an area that's typically native to any larger beasts that I don't want to run into, and use that to evade?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that sounds like a great idea to me. All right, you are going along. Go ahead and make me a nature check. We're gonna set the DC at this one for 15, sort of an average, sort of a medium difficulty to know before you get too deep into a territory.
All right. Nice. That is a success at a 22.
Success at a 22. Fantastic. Yeah, as you, a very nature-involved boy, as you're going along, you start to notice some telltale signs of foraging in the underbrush by wild pig. And you know that the domain of the boar lord, so the beast lord that's in charge of all wild pig, is just to the east of here, and it's not uncommon for them to wander back and forth between adjacent territories. And so these pigs have been rooting around, and yeah, they're honestly a bigger problem than large cats and stuff like that, because they can get pretty aggressive. So you notice that you're coming into an area where they've been probably in the last 20-30 minutes, and you skirt around a little bit to avoid having to run into them and delay yourself.
Okay,
that is a second success.
All right.
What else would you like to do?
Maybe just a standard survival check to kind of keep my endurance up, forage for food and water and stuff like that.
Yeah, that sounds great to me. Finding food and water is actually pretty easy, so I'm going to set that at a DC 13. If you're in a desert, it'd be a much different story, but here, water is basically dripping down the leaves. So it's really just you being smart enough to get enough of it without having to waste a bunch of time. And there's lots of fruits and things, so it's being smart enough to know which ones are edible, but you don't have to actively hunt them out. You just come across them pretty easily. So survival check for DC 13.
I only have a +1 to this, so let's see.
Okay.
Nice. That's a 16 + 1, 17.
Okay. Hell yeah. You begin to sense that you are getting closer to the hulking brain, and can even believe that you're hearing maybe some of the sounds of crashing vegetation. I'll let you know. You're at 3 successes, and you only need 1 more to succeed on this skill challenge.
Gotcha.
So you had mentioned wanting to use something near the end if you want to use your ability.
Yeah.
This is the moment for it, most likely.
Yeah. So sharpened senses. It's a first order power. I'm able to make a perception check to detect hidden creatures at advantage.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and roll. This is actually super interesting.
14 and a 15 at a what's the DC?
The DC for I'm using because you're close enough. I'm using a passive stealth on the hulking brain right now, which is only DC 10.
Okay. Well, I rolled a 14 and a 15 plus 6 is 21. So.
Wow. Okay. You begin to. So we're gonna mark success, and a lot of things are about to happen at once. Kireek, you can tell that you're gaining. This thing is just moving even though it's very strong, it's moving very slow as a result of just all the frickin' vegetation that is around it. And so you don't see it yet, but you can hear it, and you can see the signs of like fresh breakage that are still, like you can see ferns that have been patted down that are just starting to like come back up again into place because after being stomped on. So you must be getting very close. You also hear, though, at a 21, a couple other things. One is that as you kind of go into this like zoomed out, it's like a focus rack kind of situation where the whole world seems to shrink down, and you can sense a lot of things that are far away, much closer than you normally would be able to.
Sure.
As you stand here and you make this perception check, you hear a twig snap, and your two eyes on the same side of your head snap over, and you notice a glint of armor creeping through the jungle. You notice there is a person walking through the woods right now, at the same, like going in the same direction as you, maybe like 50 feet to your left, creeping along, doing a decent job of stealth actually, but not enough to beat your 21, which is pretty hefty. So you notice the hulking brain, you notice this person creeping along. The third thing you notice is that there are little scratching sounds coming from behind this guy. There is some small group of animals following this person right now. And as you see a kind of a shape dart up past him in between you and this guy who's walking in the woods. You see there is like a small raptor darts in front of and is getting around this guy.
So the raptors are like following this character, or
you think that they're stalking him. This guy is hunting, presumably the hulking brain, just like you are, and also he is simultaneously being hunted.
Okay. I have a 4th order power called Shadow Form. You transform your body and any equipment you wear into amorphous shadow, gaining several benefits. I can't stealth. This is my solution to stealth. So,
okay.
Let me roll my manifest. So I am a talent. The whole thing, for the audience's sake, the whole thing about talents is managing strain, which occurs anytime you manifest a power above 1st order. So as a 4th order, I have to roll a d6, and to not accumulate any strain, I have to roll a 5 or a 6. If I roll a 4, I gain 1 strain, and if I roll lower than that, I gain as many as the order, so 4 strain.
Okay.
And in the natural 1, I gain 4 strain.
All right, so describe to me 2 things. What does it look like when you take on strain? And what is this ability that you're using?
Yeah. So I'm trying to stealth and move towards the armored character. You can see he begins to you can see the Kireek's shadow begins to lengthen. And simultaneously as he lengthens, Kireek seems to like descending into water, descend into the shadow. Anyone who would be observing Kireek at this time would see that blood would start to spill from his eyes, and any place where like mindflayer attachments have been grafted on, so around his shoulder, at the elbow of his left arm rather. And that's what you see before he just dissolves into shadow.
That is incredibly rad. All right, I'm going to go ahead and set the scene here for you. we're going to bring you to our battle map. The dark of the forest, even though the sun beats hot overhead. I'm going to go ahead and reveal to you... I had all these tokens hidden, but you should be able to see the raptors now.
Mm-hmm.
There are 6 raptors. 1 is the leader.
Mm-hmm.
And you see, as you come in your shadow form, first off, you can place yourself hidden anywhere on the left side of the map here,
Sure.
on this side of the big fallen tree. This is the direction that you guys are. You're walking south. This is the direction it's coming from. You spy through. You see these raptors. They are not hidden from you with that amazing perception check. And you see that there is a figure you recognize. This is the hobgoblin that you saw on the Nautiloid the day that you were freed.
Okay.
He is currently creeping through the forest, and he appears to have no idea what's going on. We are going to go ahead, and the raptors don't know you're there. We are going to go ahead and start initiative. Basically, everyone but Rawl, the hobgoblin, is... he's surprised. Everyone else is hidden. So he's going to have disadvantage for being surprised. And all of you guys are actually going to have advantage on your... Or sorry, no, you're hidden from them. So you're going to have advantage on your initiative roll. And they're going to roll straight.
Oh, okay. So I have advantage.
So I
on
hope
my
that made
initiative
sense.
roll. Cool.
So those are the new rules. Ladies and gentlemen, we're playing new D&D 2024, and surprise no longer makes you unable to act, and stealth no longer. They've balanced it out a lot more. Being stealthed at the start of an encounter gives you advantage. Being surprised gives you disadvantage. Everyone else goes straight. So I will go ahead and roll for Rawl. He actually rolled decently considering everything, and then we'll roll. Oh wait, no, he rolls at disadvantage. They still rolled okay. And then we'll go ahead and roll for the raptors. And the leader. Okay. So, Kireek coming in at a 17. Not bad.
Mm-hmm.
Rawl is at an 11. 3, a 9 for the leader. And all the other ones are going at a 16.
Ooh, okay.
So, you have the drop on them in initiative. Kireek, from your shadowy form, what would you like to do?
I will shout a warning to Rawl as a free action. But
Okay.
because Kireek's vocabulary is only limited to what mind flayers would normally say, he would probably say it in a way that sounds threatening, like
The hunter does not know they are hunted.
Who said that? He turns and starts to draw his short sword and is like casting around. They're all still hidden from him, but he's kind of aware that something's about to happen.
Yep. But I will move. So, okay, one of the things that Shadow Form gives me is I gain a flying speed of 60 feet.
Oh, hell, Jesus. Okay.
Yep. So I will move 5, 10, 15 to just the closest, well, to Raptor 5, not really the closest Raptor, but whatever. And I will do, sure, Psychic Stab. One creature you can see within range must make an intelligence saving throw. On a failed save, the target takes 3d10 psychic damage.
Jesus. Okay. Dinosaurs, intelligence, -3. Cool. 9.
9, okay, that fails.
Okay, what's the psychic?
That is 24.
24? Describe how you kill this thing immediately.
Yeah. So because it's a psychic stab, everything is in the mind, but the raptor, I think so what the raptor sees is just it suddenly seizes up, as if it was physically stabbed in the head, and then it just sort of keels over and dies.
Nice. You see it lets out a small shriek as it gets psychically stabbed, and all the other raptors bird-like turn their heads towards you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have anything else you'd like to do?
So I move 5 to 15. Is there any difficult terrain? I guess not, because I'm flying.
Correct. I was going to say climbing over this log actually does take double movement, but you're flying, so you could just fly right over it.
Okay, yeah. I think flavor-wise, what it looks like is it's as if the shadow is just crossing over the log without any sort of hindrance. So it's not like there's a shadow flying in the air, but the shadow is gliding on the ground as if something above were flying.
Gotcha.
But I will move 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, right up to the Raptor Pack leader, and I will use a first order power at a bonus action. And I have to make a manifestation because this is concentration as well. So part of the talent is that I can concentrate on multiple things. It's just that the order increases by 1. So because this is a first order power, it becomes a 2, which means I have to make a manifestation roll on this.
Okay. And orders, by the way, are kind of like spell levels for the for the talent's powers.
Yep. So it's concentration up to 1 round. You pick 1 willing creature within range other than you, 5 feet. You glimpse into that creature's immediate future and impart a word of warning. Oh, I'm sorry. I totally misunderstood this.
Yeah, it seems like it's an ally thing, right?
It's an ally thing. So actually what I'm going to do is just move 20, 25, 30 sort of up to Rawl.
Perfect.
And I will do, you glimpse into the creature's immediate future and impart a word of warning into their mind. The next attack roll made against the target before the end of your next turn has disadvantage.
So the next attack roll is going to perfect. I imagine you saying the warning as you come along and as you finish your movement.
Sure,
that word gets embedded in his head and he is suddenly alert, much more alert than he normally would have been to what's happening. And if that ends your turn, that's going to give the raptor that's about to attack him disadvantage.
Yeah. Okay. I rolled a 4, so I succeed on my manifestation test. I don't accumulate any strain.
All right. Here we go. It is now the raptor's turn, not the leader, though. They're all going to move 5, 10, 15, 20. This guy's going to have difficult, actually. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And then he's going to use his bonus action to dash. 35, 40. This guy is just going to jump off the rock. He's good. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. This guy, 5, 10, 15, 20. And they are all going to make their attacks. So 2 things are happening right now. The first is that they have pack tactics, which means that they all have advantage on these attacks, except for the first one against Rawl. And they all moved 20 feet. So if they hit with these claw attacks, there's a chance they will knock you prone.
Okay. It doesn't say in my shadow form that
go.
it can't be knocked prone, so I guess that's a thing that can happen.
It is a low strength save, but there is a save on it. So here we go. We're going to roll straight for the first raptor attack against Rawl. What is his AC and hit points? There we go. Straight is going to miss. The next claw attack is just going to hit him. So that will deal...
That first attack was made at disadvantage, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
It was a miss. Okay. The first attack will deal 7 points of damage to him.
Okay.
He will make a strength save, and ooh, he rolled really badly on that. Oh, it's only DC 11 though. Let me say. Strength. That's still a 13. He's pretty strong actually, so he does not go prone. They will each now make a bite attack against him. Those 1 and a 4 at advantage, that misses. Okay, this will hit. That's another 7. All right, now the attacks against you, Kireek. First claw is going to be a 19 to hit.
That hits.
You take 7 points of damage.
What kind of damage is it, and is it a mundane attack? Because my shadow form
is mundane.
My shadow form gives me resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage from mundane attacks.
This is that, so you're going to take 3 from that attack. Hell yeah. Strength saving throw?
Yep, let me do that. Let's see, let me just check my strain, making sure I don't have disadvantage on this. I do not. But I only have I don't have a bonus to this either. Natural 20.
Okay, you're good. The bite was a 16 to hit. Does that hit you?
That does, yes.
Okay, so you'll take another 7 reduced to 3.
Okay.
Second raptor attack on you. That is another 16 to hit. Another 7 damage down to 3. Make another strength save.
Okay. Another natural 20. I'm keeping this one.
Hell yeah. And then the final bite. Yeah, it's a natural 19, so that's 7 down to 3. For the bite, there is no effect. Now they're all going to use their bonus action to dash, and they have crafty, which means that they moving out of range does not provoke opportunity attacks for them. So this one's going to go... This one's going to go back over here. This one's going to go back over here. And this one actually already used a shit ton of his movement, so he's going 5, 10, 15, 20. He'll go this direction instead, move a little closer to the pack leader. And they don't hide, they are not hidden, but they're all kind of further away.
Sure.
And in fact, a ranged attack through this foliage is going to have half cover.
Okay.
You watch as they all scatter away. Rawl finally gets his sword out, swipes, just cuts down a bunch of leaves. And he turns from just getting clawed a little bit and sees you. There's like a moment of pure terror as he looks at you. And he goes, "Ah! Wait, I know you. Oh, hold on a moment." And he's going to dash off for his turn. Let's see. Yeah, he will just... You watch, he's going to dash off over to this closest one. And he is going to use a signature attack, which is Flame Strike. He pulls his sword, but it lights up with fire, and he's going to slash at this raptor. Ooh, terrible. Yep, he is going... Sadly, he's going to miss. He rolled a natural 3. And yeah, you watch as this thing just jumps over up onto like a stump that's there, and right over the flame vanishes as it goes. Crafty bastards. Keep your eye out, they'll stab you in the back.
Naturally.
And it is now the pack leader's turn. Yeah, he has some commands, but everyone's kind of doing okay right now, so he's not going to use any commands. He's just going to move here. He's also got pack tactics. He doesn't need to flank. And he is going to do 2 attacks with his... he's going to do a claw and a bite. Here we go. That's a crit on the first one. Hell yeah.
Jeez.
So against Rawl, that's going to be 8, 9, 10, 11 plus 3. So that's 14 points of damage on Rawl. He's still doing okay.
Okay.
And then the second attack at advantage is just a regular hit. And I actually rolled minimum on that one, so that's only going to be 4.
Okay.
4 points of damage. So yeah, you watch as the claw really gets him in the side. He's like, "Watch out your back, they'll stab you." And this one comes out of the woods, claws him in the side. He cries out, but as it goes to bite at his neck, he like bashes its head a little bit with his gauntlet and keeps it from getting a good chunk out of him. These guys are not strong, but they make up in their weakness for numbers. So as this guy ends his turn, Kireek, what would you like to do?
Which ones have been damaged?
None except the one you killed.
Okay, gotcha. All right.
They're all still, and the pack leader, as you may be able to tell, is a little bit beefier than the rest of them.
Yeah. I will move 5, 10, 15 to flank with the pack leader.
Okay.
And I will do Time Thief. You psionically absorb the life force of a creature within range, causing them to age faster than normal. Target must make a Constitution saving throw. On a failed save, they take 3d4 necrotic damage, and you gain temporary hit points equal to the damage taken. So similar to Vampiric Touch, but temporary.
But there's no attack roll, right?
No attack roll. Yeah, it's a Constitution.
All right, con save. 7.
Yeah, that fails. So 3d4.
Yeah, you watch as this creature, for a moment, becomes a mummified little husk of a raptor.
That is 3, a 3, and a 4, so 10. Nice.
Okay, not bad. 10, and you get the temporary hit points, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anything else?
That was my action. I could do Glimpse again, giving... Actually, no, I can't, because I have to be... Well, okay. Could I have done this? Could I have moved? So I was, like, here. Can I move 5, 10? Use my bonus action to give Glimpse to Rawl, because I have to be within 5 feet. And then 15, and then use my attack to time thief.
Absolutely, yep.
All right.
Yeah,
so
it technically takes a little double movement to get up onto the log here, but you're still flying.
I'm still flying. Yep.
Yeah, so yeah, you're totally good. Yep,
actually, that reminds
no
me.
problem.
I have to make what is it? 3 concentration checks, I think, because
You took 3 damage from each of them.
yes. So okay, let me roll that. Constitution is 14, 11, and 23. So I'm good on all of those.
Okay. Sounds great. Yeah, you come in and do something fucking horrid to this raptor. Let's a pitiful little shriek. And does that end your turn?
Yes.
All right, then all the rest of them are going to go now. They're going to come to his aid. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. To a first attack at disadvantage against Rawl. Gonna miss. Good stuff. Second attack at advantage with the bite. Definitely gonna hit. That's 7 against him. This one is also going to attack with claws. That's gonna hit. Another 7. He's starting to get a little flustered here. Strength save from him. He is not prone. He's good. That's actually a miss. It's a 7 and 8 against him. These other ones, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. They'll dash 35, 40. Attack at advantage against you, Kireek. That's a natural 19.
Okay.
So that's 7 down to 3. Please make a strength save.
Yep. I'm at 69. Nice. Actually, no, I'm not because of my temporary hit points. Whoops. Sorry. I'm back on an OG paper, PDF character sheet because D&D Beyond does not support the talent class. So
No, hopefully one day they have the ill rigor.
yeah, I noticed that. Strength 15.
Say you're totally good.
Okay.
And
11 on my
then,
concentration check as well, so I'm okay.
Cool. Claw at advantage because of pack tactics. That's another hit. That's a 21 to hit, so 7 down to 3 damage.
Another concentration check. 14, 22.
Okay, all good. Last 2 attacks against you. 6 and a 7 at advantage. Going to miss on the claw, so it's just the bite. Damn, that's another 7. Oh, actually, I should have been asking. 7 plus 5 is 12. Does that hit your AC?
That does not. I am an armor class of 13.
Okay. So we're good. I assumed that it was too low, and then I remembered you had a low AC, and I should have been asking. Okay. Now these guys are going to move back out. They, again, do not provoke attacks opportunities. All the ones with Rawl actually think that he's basically done, and they're going to stay in to feast on him. Which brings us to his turn. He is going to use Unerring Strike. When he, as an action, Rawl can make a signature attack, but he will not make an attack roll. Instead, he will automatically hit, and each ally can move up to their speed without provoking opportunity attacks as a reaction. So if you'd like to move right now, you can move up to your speed, and he is going to automatically hit one of the raptors.
Nice.
That has been bothering him. Just try to take some of these guys off the field, and I need some more D10s. All right, no whammies. 22 fire damage will immediately smoke this one. So
nice.
He's going to smoke Raptor 1 down at the bottom. As he waits, kind of patiently taking all these cuts, and then turns and thrusts the sword, which bursts into flames, and just hacks off this raptor's head. Would you like to move anywhere?
Would I like to move anywhere?
Yeah, so as a reaction, any ally can move up to their speed without provoking opportunity attacks.
Oh, okay. I'm actually good. I want to be in flanking for this pack leader so that Rawl can.
I thought that might be the case, but he did want to. He didn't want to miss, so he used it anyway.
Fair
All
enough.
right. Speaking of, that brings us to the pack leader, the leader of the pack. Place one use of an attack with command. Cool. So he's gonna bite you.
Okay.
Oh no, sorry. First, he's gonna use his first attack to command one of the raptors to move up to its speed.
Ooh.
So that will get it into position to give him advantage because of pack tactics, and then he will roll at advantage against you. It's not good, but I think it's gonna be enough. Does a 14 hit you?
It does. Yeah.
Okay, 14. That is 9 points of slashing down to 4.
4. Okay. I've gone through my temporary HP, and I succeed on my concentration check. I have a +8 to Constitution, so it'll be pretty difficult for me to fail.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right. So he used one attack. He used one command in place of an attack. He doesn't need to use that ability yet. He will pass his turn back to you.
Okay. I think I'll do Time Thief again. Just re-up my temp HP. I'll do it on the pack leader.
Okay, con save from the pack leader. It's cocked. Roll again. Okay, that's pretty good. It is going to succeed with a 19.
Okay, I have a thing.
Okay, tell us about your thing.
Psionic Exertion, Overwhelming Power. When a creature succeeds on a saving throw against a power you manifest, you gain strain equal to the power order to force the creature to re-roll with a -4 penalty. Must use the new roll. So
okay,
I will gain
re-roll. Instead of adding 1, he'll subtract 3.
Yeah, so I gain an additional strain for that.
That is a natural 20 down to 17.
That fails. I'm an 18.
Okay.
Okay. Wow.
You watch. Yeah, there's a moment where you're certain it's going to fail. And you just reach deep into this creature's psyche with your brain and rip the will to resist from it. So go ahead and roll your damage.
Okay, that's 6.
Okay, only 6. All right.
Yeah.
And you gain 6 temp.
I do.
Okay. He's still looking pretty good.
Okay.
All right, that is going to be the raptors' turns again. All right. The thing is, they don't get their pounce anymore, but they will get their pack tactics, so there will be no saves to try to stay upright, but they will all roll at advantage against Rawl. That's actually going to miss. Good on you, Rawl. The bites is, is it AC 15? Yep, that one will just hit him. -7. Then the other raptor, 2 attacks, will just hit him, and will hit him. All right, Rawl's starting to look pretty bad.
Okay.
And then the last one will attack you twice. That will hit, so that's 7 down to 3. You're still resisting, correct?
Yes.
And then the bite is also a hit.
Okay.
So if you maintain concentration, it'll be an additional 3 damage.
All right, let me roll. I rolled an 11. We're good. So additional 3 damage. And then I'll roll again for my concentration. Natural 19. We're good.
Hell yeah. All right. So yeah, 3 damage. Okay. That brings us to Rawl's turn. Rawl is looking around. He's doing really bad. He's going to make a call. He's going to roll at advantage against the pack leader. That's a natural 19 to hit. He will roll 3d10 fire damage, which is pretty good. That's 16. That's 20 points of fire damage, which would normally be enough to kill it. But it's going to use Cowardly Commander when the Raptor pack leader when a creature the raptor pack leader can see hits them with an attack, the pack leader chooses a willing ally within 5 feet. The attack hits the ally instead.
Oh my
so
god.
one hit will duck out of the way, and Rawl is going to smoke the raptor that's just above him.
Nice.
So there are only 3 left, and it is now the pack leader's turn. It is going to attack you at advantage.
Mm-hmm.
Let me double check. You can use a reaction move with their speed or make 1 weapon attack. Yeah. Okay, that hits. That's 10 down to 5 damage against you.
Okay.
And a crit.
Ooh, okay.
So that is
All right, I'm fine on
3
my
plus 8 is 11, plus 3 is 14 down to 7 damage.
Okay.
And how many hit points do you have left?
I'm at
Where are you
60.
Okay, you're still doing much better than Rawl then. And it will also use Get Reckless. It begins to chirp, and all the other raptors go into a bloodlust. They have pack tactics, but whether or not there's an ally adjacent now, they will have advantage.
Okay, cool.
They all get advantage to the end of their turn. Attack rolls also have advantage against the creature, though. So that brings us to you, Kireek. Rawl is doing pretty bad, and he's got 2 flanking him.
Okay. So part of my strain is that I gain debilitating effects, and one of them is that I can no longer dash, disengage, or dodge, but I do want to get myself set up in a nice position. So I will, in spite of that move, 5, 10, 15 here.
Okay. They will get an attack of opportunity against you.
Mm-hmm.
And they all have advantage, even though you leave there because of the reckless. So,
Okay.
That is a hit from the pack leader.
Okay.
Minimum damage 4 down to 2.
Okay.
And then the other guy, an 11 to hit.
Does not hit.
Okay, you get out of the way.
Okay. And then I will cast. I will use Flay.
Oh, hell yeah. Describe this, please.
Yeah. You shoot forth a 15-foot cone of pure psionic energy. Each creature in the area must make an intelligence saving throw, taking some psychic damage on a failed save or half as much on a successful one. When you manifest this power, you can increase its order by 1 or more. For each increase of 1, the damage increases by 2d6. So I will cast this as a 3rd order power, so I will have to roll my manifestation die for it.
Okay, they both fail.
Okay.
I don't know if you know this, but these raptors are
Not very
they're
intelligent.
They're not intellectual powerhouses, really.
Not so clever girl. Oh, what did I roll? I rolled a 6. Okay, so I
Okay,
I
no
don't gain any
strain.
strain, and they gain 4d6
And what?
psychic damage.
Okay.
Okay, 11, 14 plus 2, 16.
16 is enough to kill that raptor. The leader is almost dead himself.
Okay.
All right. That brings us to Raptor 1, though, and with just the leader left, they are going to, this one's going to break and run,
Okay.
provoking no attacks of opportunity, which brings us to Rawl. And the question is, can Rawl hit this dude before he leaves? So Rawl will make 1 final attack. That is a natural 18.
Nice. Good
The
job,
pack
Rawl.
leader has no more allies and will take 9 points of damage, killing it. You watch as one of them flees into the woods. He finally turns and shish kebabs the pack leader, which begins to smoke and then drops to the ground. He falls down and wipes his brow and then looks at all the little cuts that are just oozing blood around him and says, "Oh, you don't fuck with Ubatu's children. Little bastards really pack a punch. Thank you. I think I'd be kicks one of the dead raptors with his boot. I think I'd be just like that right about now if it weren't for you.
Kireek will leave his shadow form, assuming his normal form.
He gives a little startled when he sees you. It was enough to see you as a shadow. To see you in flesh again is surprises him.
Mm-hmm.
But then I'm not sure we've been formally introduced. I'm Rawl.
We've met.
Believe me, I remember. It's just been a while, and I'll be honest, I kind of thought you were dead.
I am not.
Apparently. Well, you hungry? He picks up one of the raptors by its tail. I'm pretty sure I can make something out of one of these.
Kireek will respond in Rawl's voice, "Hungry?" and join Rawl to dissect the beast and join him for what I'm assuming is a short rest.
Yes, a short rest indeed.
Cool.
He goes, "Great, gather some wood. I'll get to butchering this." And he takes out a knife instead of his short sword and starts cutting through. You gather some wood, and you see he takes the tip of his finger, sticks it into, and it takes a while because everything's pretty damp here, but eventually it starts to smoke. You guys sit on the rock that's nearby so that you don't have to worry about trying to start a fire in the damp moss. He puts his finger in, starts to smoke, and a little kindling comes on. Puts some chunks of meat onto a stick and starts to hold it over. So, I already said thanks, I guess. Polite conversation. Sorry, I don't spend a lot of time around other people. Hard for me to know how to begin. What brings you... Well, I guess, how did you survive? From the crashing ship, I mean.
I do not know. All I remember is that I survived.
Well, better than the alternative, I guess.
What of you and your companions?
Oh, well, that's why it pays to keep a wizard around. Ophelia had all our backs. All we did was jump.
Kireek nods.
What brings you here, though? It's not exactly an easy place to be. Not normal for the dinosaurs to come down off the plateau, but I guess it happens, and when it does, it's... Well, as you saw, it gets pretty hairy out here.
There is a threat to this ecosystem. I am here to stop it.
He kind of pauses as you say that. He says, strange things going on, right?
Indeed.
I don't want to be forward, but you don't happen to be following an 8-foot-tall man with 4 arms, are you?
Indeed.
I guess that makes sense why we crossed paths then. I'm on the same trail. Strange things have been happening. We got a warning from the Grove of the Unicorn. The Unicorn Knights, that is. He taps, and you see on his armor. By the way, I don't know that I described him really well. He's got sort of like a medium heaviness armor, enough to keep him protected. He's certainly not a super dexter, like he's more strength than he is dex, but it's nothing crazy, right? It doesn't like slow him down. He's not wearing like plate mail. He's wearing like a breastplate would be, I guess, the best thing to say. And then underneath that, it's very like rangery clothes. Like it's very like all tied together and stitched and things like that. He's got hair that's really long, but he's pulled it back into a kind of like a bun on the back of his head, so that it doesn't like get in his eyes or anything. And he's got like he's got a pack that you see that's pretty it's like a leather pack that's really worn and kind of stuffed in with all these things. And as he taps on his breastplate, which has the a medallion that has the profile of a unicorn's head, And then he hands you the raptor on a stick so that you can keep roasting it. He pulls up that pack I mentioned. He reaches in, he pulls out a rolled up piece of paper, and he says, "Yeah, we got that warning from the Grove of the Unicorn Knights. Miyaliki let us know that there was a corruption. God forbid they ever be specific about these kinds of things. But ever since then, I've been trying to do a little bit of legwork, talking to the wilders and the few animals that'll make conversation with me, trying to catch up on any rumors of what this might be. And lo and behold, quite the patchwork. He spreads out on a rock, and you see, probably for the first time, a map of the area of the Beastlands you're in. I'm going to go ahead and show you on Roll20.
Amazing.
So, yeah, he unrolls it, and anyone who's watching should be able to see the map now. But he points over towards the left, and you see a big feature surrounded by jungle labeled Forbidden Plateau. Done very nicely, and then underneath it, scrawled in his own hand, you see that he's made some notes across the map, and it says Jungle Disturbed, and he points there. It says, so we're about here. He points east side of the river, just a little bit north of, before it empties out into the Greenway, which you would know is like just a huge expanse of open grassland where migratory animals just kind of do like an endless loop around the plain. Right about here, checking out the disturbance. Makes sense. I've seen the things before when we invaded the ship, judging by the height of it. Probably one of those forearm freaks. I don't have a better name for them yet. Anyway, as you can see, it's far from the only one. I've been trying to make a good, solid list of everything to check it out, but I'm just one man. It takes a long time to, well, investigation is not my strong suit.
Now we are two.
Now we're two. I appreciate the help. You know, I'm far from the only unicorn knight, but, well, Philia's always off plane. What's she doing? She says she spins plates or something like that. Then there's Greenbeard, but he disappears for months at a time, so no telling where he is now. Doubt he's even in Kragala. 2/3 chance he's somewhere else. So, like I said, or like you said, now there's two, and like I said, I'm bad at making conversation. But it's still nice to have someone around.
It is just you and her and them.
More or less. I mean, you know, like I said, we run into the occasional wilder. You would know wilder means like Athos was a wilder. They're like people on the Beastlands who kind of wander around, and they mostly play like tour guide to people, or they're just kind of happy like living off the land. They're like, I'm not going to go to one of those places that are complicated with civilization and things like that. I'll just chill. But they don't have any bigger purpose than that. Says, you know, occasionally you run into a wilder, and you know, that's good for catching up on what might be going on the other side of the plane. You don't know what it is, but yeah, it's just us few. Being a unicorn knight, it's well, you don't sign up because you're looking to have an active social life.
Kireek just kind of like spreads his arms as if it's sort of like a, well, look at me kind of deal.
If it's not too much for me to pry, how did you end up here? I mean, I know that you got out of the ship somehow, but how did you end up there?
The mind flayers perform experiments, honing their craft, creating abominations. They made me.
That does sound like them. Way out of my area of expertise. Even in my city slicker days, I never ran across a single one of them, but I'd heard the rumors, and I saw the bodies when we evaded the ship. Sorry you had to go through that, friend.
Kireek just kind of spreads his arms again, like, hey, what can you do?
Well, he pulls the raptor meat off of the fire and begins to slice it up. He's got like a little mess kit, but he only has one plate. So he puts yours on the plate, and then he puts his into a little tin cup that he has to eat off of.
Kireek accepts the plate and just gives a nod of thanks.
Well, like I said, it's lonely work, but if you're ever looking for a comfortable place to stay and maybe on occasion run into someone else, he points onto the map, kind of the lower right area, or I guess kind of the middle right, Grove of the Unicorn, located in the woods across the Greenway. You know where to find it.
Kireek stares at the map for a long time, studying it, before finally giving Rawl a nod of of acknowledgement.
Absolutely. He takes it back. You like it? It's my own work.
I have no reference.
Oh, well then let's just say it's very accurate.
Indeed.
He kind of gives a little laugh and says, not easy to make a map, but I've got a way of getting a bird's eye view. And he goes to his pack and he pulls out, and you see it's been like rolled up in there pretty tightly. He pulls out this kind of multicolored fabric, unfurls, and you see a carpet extends onto the rock next to you. Gives it a pat. Gotta be careful here. So many things are fighting for dominance of the sky, but when it comes to getting around, sure beats walking. Speaking of which, he stamps out the fire with his hand, and then takes a last swallow of the raptor meat. If we don't want to lose this thing, we better get going. It's I'd say it's pretty easy to track overall. I'm not the most gifted at that, but either case, we don't want it to get too far away from us.
It will serve well for us. But one questions why this was not used to evade the attackers.
Referring to the raptors.
Oh, the carpet, you mean?
Yeah.
Like I said, you gotta be careful when and where you fly, and wouldn't have been able to follow the brute if I was using this up in the sky.
Kireek gives a nod of understanding.
All right, you ready to get going? He, you know what? Let me go ahead and roll his hit dice for him real quick. And did you go ahead and roll some hit dice?
Yes. I have a thing where I can expend hit dice to vent strain, so I did some of that as well.
Awesome. He's not quite at max, but he's pretty damn close.
Okay, cool.
All right. Hops down off the rock. He offers to lend you a hand. I don't know if you take it or want to go by yourself.
Oh, Kireek would never impose. He climbs on himself.
I thought as much. You guys start walking.
Mm-hmm.
As you do, he it's pretty easy to follow with the two of you to keep the survival going. But he makes a little bit more conversation with you. So is this your native world? Are you from another plane?
The Beastlands is my home. It was.
Not any longer?
I am not the same as when I was abducted.
Yeah, I guess as much. It's true for everyone, though. I mean, not trying to make comparisons here. Believe me, if it's any kind of contest, you win, but wherever we go, it's not the same person that arrives. I certainly found that out the hard way when I got here.
But I will protect it all the same.
Good man. It's good to have a purpose. I don't know what I'd do without the knights. Probably go stir crazy.
You had a vocation
Start one.
before this?
I did. Thief, most would call it. Acquirer of, not looked after items was a turn of phrase I like to use, but yeah, thief. I'm from the cage. Did some time as a pickpocket, did some time as a forger, hence the map. Just good with quills, you know, but that was in my young man days. Stumbled through a portal on accident, ended up ass first in a pile of mud here, and the rest is history.
You never tried to return.
I tried to crawl back through the tree I fell out of. That didn't work. And then, I thought about it for a long time, trying to figure out where I could go. Best I could figure out was signpost. Ships come through there sometimes. But before I could, he goes to his armor. He stops, goes to his armor, kind of shifts it, and he pulls aside his shirt, and you see that there is a black spot on his, like, where his neck meets his shoulder, that has 2 holes in it. He goes, "Met a snake. Snake said hello." Started dying, twisting, losing everything from both ends. Nasty way to go. And I assumed that was over. I was just going to be a corpse in the jungle. Something would come along and eat me. But then the unicorn found me. You know, I've never actually asked if it was Miyaliki herself or if it was just one of her servants, but brought me to the Grove of the Unicorn. That's where I learned about the Unicorn Knights, and well, he covers the wound back up. It never really healed, but I stopped dying. That was enough reason for me to stay. I don't know if it'll start up again when I leave, but doesn't matter. My gratitude's worth a lot. Keeps me here, doing the work that she wants done.
Kireek will echo back, "When I leave."
You want to get out of here sometime?
It was a question directed at you.
Like I said, I've got the work now. I don't need to test whether leaving would kill me or not. I got a purpose here. Certainly better one than I had back there. Not that I begrudge anyone who does a little crime. It's not for me to judge, but it wasn't very productive, you know? Much better this way.
Kireek just gives a nod.
You guys walk for another hour or so.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any other conversation you'd like to have with him? Any other questions you'd like to ask?
What was the name that he gave when he was rescued by the Unicorn Knights?
Oh, he said Miyaliki, which is the one of the goddesses of nature and the patron of the Unicorn Knights.
Oh, would Kireek know that? Or
I think you would. As a denizen of this world, you would certainly have heard of her and the Unicorn Knights, even though it's doubtful you would have ever met any.
Mm-hmm. Okay, fair enough.
What are your greatest conquests?
What? Taking down that big-ass brain wasn't impressive enough?
Kireek gives a shrug of like, I've seen better.
Well, if you must know, I've killed some beasts that were being a terror to people who didn't deserve it, but I tend to just let them go. They're doing their own thing. It's not a big deal if you do. They come back the next day, you know, but the real problem's the people. You know the Blackstone Lodge?
Kireek gives a nod.
Yeah, sick bastards. Usually run up across them. Mostly they just kind of give me a wide berth. I'm more of a deterrent than a actual problem for them, but it's enough to I've been enough of a problem in the past to come to blows with some of them.
Hmm.
Get nasty fuckers. Worst one I ever crossed? Marid came by. Big guy. Trying to hunt a whale. Guess he liked big trophies too. Yeah. You know, he kind of lights a fire in his hand. Kind of on the preference for fire, so having to face someone in the water, not easy. But in the end, I got him.
Kireek gives a nod of like, of being impressed.
What about you? If you've been looking for these mutant things in the Beastlands, surely you must have come across something nasty by now.
They have kept quiet, for the most part. Tiny things, vermin, I hunt. I know not why this has appeared now.
He kind of stops. Good question. I mean, he kind of like points in the direction that it's going, and then he turns and points in the other direction. Seems to be walking in a straight line. But what, did it come from the Forbidden Plateau? Did it just walk until it fell off the edge and then keep going? The other side's the Thirsting Lands. I guess it could have crossed through there. But it does give the sense of a man on a mission.
Despite being called a hulking brain, does Kireek know whether or not it actually possesses any sort of, like, intelligence or rational thought?
No, it's a pure servant of whoever controls it.
It was created to remain on a leash. Unleashed. I know not what it does, what its aim is.
Well, maybe it's not off the leash. Maybe it just got tugged. I think we better catch up to it.
The implication of a greater threat at the end of this line.
Oh, there usually is. Stay in the business long enough, you'll learn.
Kireek gives a nod.
It's about this time that there's a small bit of wind cuts through the trees, and you smell something sweet. Kireek, I'd like for you to make me a wisdom saving throw, please. DC 17.
Okay. I have a +1 of wisdom. This is gonna be good. With a natural 1, that's not gonna do it.
Kireek, you smell the most pleasant, sweet aroma that you have ever experienced in your life, even back before your abduction. Of the like rare baked treats you've ever had, of the fruits that you foraged, occasionally even like sugar maple sap as a sweet treat that you might find. This blows all of them out of the water, and you are overcome with an immense desire to find the source of this sweet scent.
I don't think Kireek even says anything. I think he just turns and starts walking in that direction.
You good, Kireek? Kireek? What's wrong? And then Ral starts following you. For about 100 yards you walk, and Ral keeps kind of calling after you. Not too loud. He doesn't want to alert anything nearby. And he doesn't want to like stop you either, because he doesn't want to like grab on and hold you. He doesn't know you like that. But he keeps abreast of you until you come and you see that there is some broken stones. There's some like rock work here. Clearly there was something built in this jungle a while ago, but it must have been a long time ago because there's only the barest remnants of it left. But as the scent gets stronger and stronger, it's all you can think of. You round the corner and you see, there are these stone ruins that are collapsed in. You see there's like broken pillars. There's like a throne on the side. They all have these the faintest faded imitations of snakes painted on them. And as you come around the corner, the spell that you were just under finally begins to kind of release its hold on you, and as your eyes come back into focus, kind of the opposite of that thing you did before where you increased your perception, where instead of you finally are coming back into the world, everything was very blurry and distant. You see that there is an enormous red flower sitting in the middle of the room, and as you take a look at it and you take that one final step as the last of this charm leaves you, you feel something crunch under your foot, and you look down and you see that there is what looks like
Austin, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to derail you. Was this a charm effect?
It was technically a charm effect, yes.
Okay. I don't know how we want to play this. I do have a feature that means I can't be charmed or frightened.
Ooh, okay. Well, you know what? Let's play it like this. Instead of walking to this flower's open maw, as you approach, the charm leaves you as you get closer. The charm leaves you as your psionic brain that is meant to resist these things pushes it off. You round the corner. I'll give you a little bit of space from this creature. Okay. And one of your feet crushes down, and you see that there looks like a small mammal, like maybe a rabbit skull underneath. And as you look around, you see other bones littered about among these stone ruins. The red flower that was in front of you, that's maybe like 10 feet tall, begins to unfold, and you smell the sickly sweet scent of its nectar bubbling like a vat of caustic acid in the pit as its tendrils begin to pick up. We are going to go to break, but when we return, you and Rawl are going to roll initiative against the Treacle Lily.
Treacle Lily. Great. I love this. Awesome.
All right. We will see you all back here in just a moment.
Rolling with difficulty.
All right, I think they're gone. I'm not supposed to be here for another 3 episodes, so I gotta make this quick. You may know me as professional D&D player Red, lover of insight checks and reminding the DM I'm immune to poison, but I also moonlight as webcomic artist Red, lover of big hair and glowing particle effects. My webcomic, Aurora, is receiving its first print volume release on July 29th, and pre-orders are open. The first 11 chapters are all being consolidated into one gorgeous full-color 370-page volume with extra author's notes, behind-the-scenes sketches, and some super-secret diary entries from one of our heroes, no telling which one. If you'd like to check it out, you can find all the pre-order links at comicaurora.com, which also has the full comic available to read online. And if you're in the US, you can use the link on the site to submit your receipt and get a free sticker sheet that I drew special just for this. Links are in the show notes and or video description. Alright, I think I hear him coming back, so I gotta skedaddle. Have fun, and make sure to tell Noir not to give any heartbreaking monologues without the rest of us. Alright, bye!
Rolling with difficulty.
And welcome back. When last we left our hero, you stand face to face with a towering carnivorous plant. The treacle lily, aka the sweet rafflesia, is before you in this clearing. You see that it is controlling these vines that are wrapped around the mummified, drained husks of various creatures it has managed to lure into this sticky sweet trap. So you'll see those labeled as the flowers, 1, 2, and 3. And you and Rawl are coming in from the... Hold on. I'm trying to remember. You guys are coming in from the left over here. So you'll notice there's a broken pillar. You can put yourself standing either on the pillar or behind the pillar, whatever you'd like to do. So just to start, how many hit points do you have left?
I'm at 67.
Okay, he's at 66, so you guys are pretty neck and neck. All right, when you're ready, go ahead and roll initiative.
Yeah, let's do this. Okay, that's not great.
It's okay. Go on. What'd you get?
9.
9, all right. Kireek coming in with a 9. And the flower with a 13. So no one really rolled well. Rawl's all the way down at the bottom of the 4. We're not even going to use the one on Roll20 because there is no token for the Sweet Rafflesia. It has no movement speed, so it can't go anywhere. But it can, however, move its flowers. And you see as these puppets on broken strings, these weirdly puppeted corpses begin to come to life, and this creature's maw opens, and the feed me, Seaboard tentacles all start to writhe. You see Raw goes, good gods, what is that? And then...
Foolish subjugate.
If you say so. Then we are going to do, let's see, for each flower that the Treacle Lily controls, they can choose, you can use Blood Red Waltz, they can choose one creature within 60 feet of them. They must make a strength save. So, each of these flowers have like unlimited movement speed as long as they're within 60 feet of the plant. They can be killed. They have an AC and hit points, but in the meantime, they can just move wherever they need to. So they're both going to move over to you. Two of them are going to move over to you guys. And I need you both to make strength saving throws.
Okay.
Rald is actually good at these, but he rolled like dog shit.
Oof. That's another
That's an
natural
11.
one. I'm not using you.
Okay, so on a failed save, you are both going to take 15 points of psychic damage.
For mine it is halved because I have resistance to psionic damage.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Well, it says resistance to psionic damage, so is that different than psychic damage?
I assume it must be. It must be the same. I assume it must be the same.
I see. Okay.
Then it's going to move all of you guys up within melee of this flower.
Oh. Okay. Whatever you say, dude.
Well, you know, it's I'll let you know a little secret. It's not super smart. It doesn't know that you guys have, like, you know, awesome powers. It's just like two
enough.
Animals, time for me to eat. So
Fair
yeah,
enough.
you see these corpses swing by and grab you guys and draw you in. And that will bring us to your turn, Kireek.
Okay. I think what I would like to do is if I angle my flay in this direction, can I get the Rafflesia flower 3 as well as the big one?
Yes, you can.
Okay. I will do flay then.
As long as a space, how do I describe this? If a space is 50% or more flower, the flower is occupying that space. If your cone is 50% or more in that space, then your cone is also in that space.
Gotcha. All right.
So that looked good to me. Go ahead and roll. This is Flay is a Dex or a Con.
It is an intelligence. And I'm doing it at third order again. So 4d6.
Okay. Int. Yeah, both of these guys rolled under a 10.
Okay. Yeah. For my manifestation roll, I did roll a 3, which normally means that I would gain 1 strain, but Flay is a metamorphosis power, and I have Metamorphosis Adept, which allows me to roll in my manifestation die with advantage 5 times per long rest, so I use one of those.
Okay, so you take no strain, and you're going to Flay.
Yes.
Full damage to both these fuckers.
4d6.
Tell me what you got.
Okay. I rolled a 6, a 5, a 1, and a 1, which normally would be 13. But I'm going to use one of my psionic exertions, Destructive Power. Gain strain equal to half the power's order to make half the damage die the maximum value. So I'll instead make it a 6, a 6, a 6, and a 5.
Damn, okay.
So what is that? 18, 23?
23 damage. Okay, let me do the math real quick on our big boy. Jesus Christ. Yeah, you fucking fry a huge chunk off this plant. And which just like one of the mouthpieces just falls down to the ground, and this flower completely gets shredded by your like multicolor psionic psychic eye blast.
Nice.
That just like just like you put it through a fucking paper shredder. The whole thing just in the air and falls down.
Am I still grappled by the main flower?
You are not grappled, no.
Ah, okay. In which case, can I just move 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 just to be... Can this thing be flanked? If it can, I'm moving and flanking.
You are kiting it. It is immune to flanked because it has blind sight.
Okay, all right. I'll move here anyway because that gets me in good position for the Rafflesia flower too.
Hell yeah. And good move, not provoking attack of opportunity. All right, that will be Rawl's turn. All right. Does he feel like... Yeah, I think... So, you know what? Let's pilot Rawl with a little bit of two hands. You don't need to move, so he can do his normal attack, which costs him nothing. He can give you advantage on your next attack against the Rafflesia flower. I don't know if you make a lot of attack rolls.
I don't.
Or he can do a big-ass AoE. He could do mini fireball, but he can only do that once a day.
I'd want to save that for the hulking brain, personally, because we know that we got to fight that eventually.
All right, so he will make a regular attack against this flower.
Okay.
Oh, damn, you know what? I looked at the stat block. I didn't even realize this thing's vulnerable to fire, so here we go.
Okay.
Let's see if he can hit, though. He's got a 50-50 chance of hitting. You know what? I'll even roll it in front of God and everyone. 1d20 plus 7. He needs to hit a 17. That's a 9.
Ugh.
Whoosh. He misses. The creature, he lights up his sword, and the flower immediately senses the danger it's in and pushes at him, bats him with a tentacle.
Okay.
All right. That is going to end his turn and bring us back to the top. The flower is going to use... It does not like you. Does it just hit you twice? Hold on. You know what? While it still has flowers, it will use both of its flowers. Actually, let's see. No, yeah, this is much better, actually. Both flowers are going to move towards you guys, and it's going to disorient you. Disarming flowers. Choose one creature, make a dexterity saving throw.
Interesting. Okay.
As it is going to, it's going to pound you, but it's also going to try to noxious gas you to try to the same way it lures animals into its maw. It's going to try to like make you guys disoriented. Okay. Rawl is bad at these, but the good news is, well, you'll know the good news if he does succeed. Okay, he's good.
Ooh, 7. Yeah.
Okay, that's going to be a fail. So you are going to take full damage. Rawl is going to take half. 16 plus 3. 19, so 19 down to 9 for Rawl and 19 for you.
Okay. What kind of damage is this?
Bludgeoning damage.
Okay, yeah. I'm not in my shadow form, so I take the full brunt of this.
Yes, and you are dazed, Kireek. That means that on your next turn, you can take an action, bonus action, or movement, but no more than 1.
Okay, yeah.
That is its turn, and it brings us to yours. So what would you like to do?
Okay. I will use my one ability to do an action. I will do psionic toughness. Yes. As an action, touch one creature, can be yourself, and increase HP maximum and current HP by 16. So...
Okay, so yeah, you're gonna heal yourself. What does it look like when you psionically reinvigorate your body?
As you're fighting, Kireek has the distinct appearance of a creature that is kind of falling apart literally at the seams. Like, sutures and stuff are like bursting open, stitches are opening and stuff like that. And as he uses this psionic toughness, you can see that the stitches begin to repair themselves and fix themselves back up.
Yeah, that's fucking rad. Okay, that's your whole turn?
Yes, let me just do the math. 57 now. Okay. Yep, that's all I can do.
Rawl is going to try once more to hit this guy with his sword. If he does, it's going to deal a lot of damage. Here we go. Need to hit an AC of 17. That is a dirty 20.
Nice.
However, this is the second time that I have done this to my own character. It has a redirect when the treacle lily is hit with an attack. It can cause the attack to hit one of its flowers instead.
Oh, okay.
So just like the raptor, this thing is going to redirect the attack. They are also vulnerable to fire, though, which means 11 damage doubles to 22, which is enough to smoke this flower.
Nice.
So the corpse that's been dancing by him, which appears to be some sort of like antelope of some kind,
Oof.
the head like half crushed in, and all the fur is like matted with dried blood and dirt and stuff like that, so it's really hard to make out much of it. But as this as his fire attack comes in, the flower, the vine that's holding this corpse, swings in front, and he completely eviscerates the thing. It gets destroyed, but the flower itself is still doing okay.
Okay.
Which means that it's now the flower's turn, and it's finally going to make those sweet, sweet slam attacks. All right, Kireek, first against you. That's a natural 1!
Ooh. No, buddy.
Which is good, because that's an 11 to hit, which is pretty close to your AC.
Oh, yeah. Can you roll more of those, please?
The second one is going against Rawl, and it is a 10. It's going to hit him.
Okay.
And that is going to be... Ooh, I never get to roll D12s. Well, not that high. He has a crazy bonus. He's going to take 23 points of bludgeoning damage,
Oof.
which leaves him pretty darn hurt. Bam! He gets just one of the huge flower petals, these giant, enormous, meaty things with teeth, comes down and just boom, slaps him, and he kind of stumbles back and kind of falls off the platform a little bit, just absolutely destroyed by that blow. All right, and then it is going to come back to your turn, Kireek.
Okay. I think I can angle this. Yeah, I can angle this such that I get both Flower 2 and the Treacle Lily. And I will do Flay again. Same thing as before. Third order, 4d6 on a failed intelligence saving throw.
Okay.
Nice.
Intelligence saves. Don't use the D12s. That will not be good. Both of them rolled below 5. Jesus.
Nice. Okay. Ooh, a 6, a 4, and a 1. So I'm actually going to do my psionic exertion again. I might have to check if I can only do these a number of times per day. Hold on.
Well, let's assume for now that you can.
Okay. To change that 4 and a 1 to a 6 and a 6, so that is 24 points of damage.
Yep, 24 points of psych damage smokes that thing. And 24... Wow, that was even higher than the last time.
Mm-hmm.
This dude is well below half, just from... And all he's been hit by are your 2 psychic attacks. Alright. Do you have anything you'd like to do? You want to use any movement or anything like that?
I'll use my bonus action to... I'll move again. 5, 10, 15, 20 here over this flower 1. I'm within 5 feet of Rawl, and I'll do Glimpse again. So next attack roll made against Rawl will be a disadvantage.
Okay. And how much HP are you rocking?
57.
Okay. So here's my question for you. You see Rawl has noticed that this thing does not want to get burned. And he noticed how much the fire hurt the last thing. You have 2 options. I'm going to leave it to you, Noir. Should Rawl use Explosion, and this thing has a bad dexterity, it's minimum going to take a lot of damage because it's vulnerable to fire. Should he use that to very likely, maybe not definitely, but likely kill this creature? Or should he make a regular attack with which he could miss, and there are 2 attacks coming your way. The one against him will have a disadvantage, and you guys get another round to fight. Which would you like him to do?
The explosion he can only do once a day, right?
Correct.
But we know that he's vulnerable to fire. I'll just look at Rawl, see his contemplation, and just say,
Do it.
All right. You want to see what toasted a Marid even underwater? And he brings his hands apart. There's a huge vacuumous sensation as wind rushes in, and then he claps his hands, and he's gonna detonate it far enough away to not get either of you guys. But on the back over here, he unleashes a fireball. This creature is going to make a dexterity saving throw. It's not a high DC, but this thing is bad at dexterity. It will fail. It's going to take... You know what, Noir? Why don't you roll it? It's 4d12.
oh my
doubled
goodness.
Because of the vulnerability.
Yeah. It's 8, 9, 5. So what is that? 17, 22. 8, 9, 5,
So
8.
40. So that's, 8, 9...
30.
5, 8. That's 30. Yeah. 16. Yep, 30 point. Doubled to 60. Jesus. Yep. That will take this thing out and then some. He launches and you watch as the flame comes up. You guys both have to put your arms up to keep the smoke from getting into your eyes. And the sweet smell from before becomes unbearable. But you hear the bubble and hiss of the caustic liquid inside of it begin to die down as the creature's vines and petals, one by one, thum, thum, fall to the ground, smoking and dead. You see Rawl kind of wipes his forehead. Ugh. No, seriously, what in the hells was that?
It brought promises that were not there. It was enticing.
He goes over, kind of prods it with his boot. I've heard of carnivorous plants, but this thing's just downright... He turns and looks at you. Well, it's unnatural.
Really? Does Kireek have the notion that it's a result of the mind flayers in some way, shape, or form?
Do you want to make a nature check?
Sure. 17.
17, yes. Hold on, I want to... you know what, we can resolve that second. I have to see if the 17's high enough for this other thing. But 17, you start to look around, and you'll actually notice on the map. So yeah, you have never heard anything like this. You've heard of carnivorous plants. Even some plants of the Beastlands that don't just eat insects, but eat birds and bats occasionally. But this is big enough to eat a couple people at a time, and you see the megafauna skeletons around of these different things that it's killed, these big ungulates that have wandered in, drawn in by this sweet smell, and it controlled it was pungent enough to control your brain for a little while. That is definitely some sort of manipulation. And as you are looking around, you'll notice that there's a small little stream that runs through. And the water runs underneath where the roots are. And as you kind of put your fingers in and look, you'll see that there's a bit of a purple shimmer in the water. There's some sort of strange runoff here that it has infected this flower.
I'll just kind of motion for Rawl to come over, and I'll point to that direction that stream is heading from.
Yeah, the grove said a corruption. Certainly looks like that. Do you hear anything?
Do I hear anything?
You listen. You don't hear the sounds of heavy footsteps or breaking vegetation anymore.
I'll shake my head.
I think we've caught it. One more thing before you go on. What was your nature check?
17.
17? Okay. 17 is... so you have an option here. you know that the acid in this plant is harvestable and usable, but it would take you long. It would take you some time to sit down with it and collect it here. You'd have to attempt another check to see if you could collect any of it. Would you like to press on, or would you like to stay here to do a harvest?
Is it possible to press on first and then double back to do the harvest another, like, later, like after we hunt this all?
Certainly, actually, yeah. Excellent point.
Okay. Because as enticing that might be for Kireek, he's focused on finding this hulking brain first and foremost.
Absolutely, and this is part of a something I'm still working on, but a harvesting mechanic for different things you can come across in the wilds of the Beastlands. Since there are not a lot of places to buy materials, instead you guys will have to rely on collecting them. Mm-hmm. So this is sort of a first test for that. But you want to push on. Yeah. So you and Rawl, you look at Rawl, he gives you a nod, and you guys begin to follow uphill a little bit, this little stream. It's never very thick. It's just seems like a little bit of a break off from maybe a waterway, because you start to hear the sound of running water as you approach. And as you do, Rawl is going to attempt to stealth. He's not very good at it, but he's going to try it anyway. If you would like to stealth, that is your call.
I think what I'll do instead is I will activate my chromatophores ability.
Okay.
So Kireek has had some time in the enucleator before his escape, and he gained the chromatophores thing, which is effective invisibility for 10 minutes.
Fantastic. So yeah, go ahead and roll a stealth at advantage, though.
12.
Okay. Well, you're in good company. Rawl rolled a 10.
Okay.
All right. You guys creep up the hill here, leaving behind the smoldering ruins of the treacle lily. And as you come up the hill, you see that there's a break in the tree. For the first time since you woke up this morning, you see that bright, unrelenting Kragala sun coming down through the forest, and you see that there is a tributary of the river that leads all the way down to the river Oceanus. You see that there is water flowing through here, falling off of a waterfall, and standing in the river.
No, Austin, no. Already?
Standing in the river.
No.
You see a few things. The first thing you see is the hulking brain, which is currently using its massive claws to dig out big chunks of wet earth and rock, unearthing something that is embedded in the ground in the water here. And that thing you recognize to be the same thing that gave you the chromatophores, and a nucleator, is sitting here in the river. The other thing you notice is a mindflayer. And though it looks completely different, you recognize from the mind touch as you approach, just the kind of psionic imprint you receive, you know that this is your tormentor, that this is Vivisector Uzveldroth, the Sever and the Sinew. But it looks completely changed.
Oh.
It still has tentacles, it's still kind of long and hovering lowly. The head is still like an octopus and pulsing, but there's something very wrong. It has what look like beetle mandibles.
Oh.
Kind of grafted to its face. It looks like it has like almost like beetle carapace. Its normally soft body has like this shiny black shell. And the pieces of skin that you can still see along like the chest, you can see that inside there was like a fire. There was like orange light roiling inside. Like there's fire inside of this creature.
Oh my goodness.
You see that the hulking brain finishes removing, pulling the enucleator out of the ground, and Vivisector Uzveljoth looks at the two of you who both failed your stealth checks.
Yeah, fair enough.
Turns a half cephalopod, half coleopteran head, clicks as it looks at you, and seemingly without any recognition of you, says,
More test subjects. Bring them.
and we're going to go ahead and roll initiative.
Interloper.
Go ahead, place yourselves somewhere in the trees over here.
Gotcha.
On the left in the shadow. All right.
Okay. I'll take it. Ooh, wait. I'll take it and then some. So
Raw rolls an 8.
just to continue to tell the audience about what a talent can do. I gained a feat, better
Please.
under pressure. For every strain I gain another resource called pressure points. And on ability checks, attack rolls, or saving throws, I can choose to spend up to 3 pressure points to increase my die roll by 1 for each point spent. So just to try and get ahead of the Hulking Brain and Uzveljoth, I rolled a 12, plus my 1 dex brings it up to a 13, plus an additional 3 pressure points to bring it up to a 16.
Okay. Of course, I completely gonna have to reroll. I rolled it and then I moved the dice around and shifted, so that's fine. I don't remember what they got, so it's like they never got it. Okay. So Hulking Brain with a dexterity of 0 is coming in at a 12.
Okay.
Uzveljoth, the dexterity of +3 is coming in at a 13. He actually gets to go first. And what'd you say you rolled, Noir?
16.
16. Okay, yep. Beating both of them with Rawl going in the going last. You see this horror that this being that has inflicted unspeakable horrors on you seems to have unspeakable horrors have been inflicted upon it. And as it sort of like callously points for the Hulking Brain to go apprehend you, you with that instinctual gut reaction against this the horrible tormentor, you have the lead in initiative. What would you like to do?
Yeah. How's Rawl looking?
Rawl is at 25 hit points.
Okay. What Kireek is
Pretty
going
bad, I guess.
What Kireek
Yep,
is
go on.
going to do is use psionic toughness on Rawl. That'll be his action.
Okay. So he's going to gain 16. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh,
And-
thanks, friend.
Yeah, Kireek just nods. He'll do... Yeah, he'll do Glimpse again. So next attack roll made against Rawl will have disadvantage.
Okay.
And then he'll move... He moved 5 to get close to Rawl. 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
Vivisector Uzveljoth. It sees you running away, and eyes are going to follow you. No, he's actually going to target Rawl. Fuck. You know what? No, let's roll. I think I don't think that he has a sound strategy. So odds, he's coming towards you. Evens, he's going towards Rawl.
Okay.
That is odds. So he is going to target you.
Okay.
So you've seen what mind flayers can do before. This is not something a mind flayer usually does. You watch as the light within it burns bright, and it seems to like writhe in pain a little bit, but it's going to use the ability Detonate. This is
Excuse
a
me?
manifestation.
Okay. Oh no, keep going.
It is going to attempt to place a spark of explosive psionic potential inside of you.
Okay.
Please make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. 21.
Okay, that will succeed. So it will not embed this power into you. Instead, the power will immediately detonate.
Oh, okay.
So you resist this seed being planted inside of you, and instead it's just going to go off.
Oh, okay.
So you're going to take 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 15 points of fire damage.
Okay.
All right. That is his action. He can also spit fire. He's going to spit fire at Rawl, but it will be rolled at no, he's going to shoot you. He's going to shoot you. He's going to leave the thing to Rawl to the Hugging Brain. And it is actually very bad. It's only a 9 to hit with his flame spit. Okay, sorry, fire jet. All right. That ends his turn and brings us to the brain. There is nothing like a brain. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. It's going to lumber over. Yeah, you're taller than I remember. Shit! And he's going to make 3 bash attacks, but the first one's at disadvantage, which will miss on a natural 2.
Okay.
These ones aren't at disadvantage. Next 2 attacks. That is going to hit. I'll roll the last one too. He's already declared. The last one's going to hit. So it's 1 miss, 2 hits. 5. That's 10 bludgeoning on the first. And 10 on the... 15 on the second. Jesus, 25. Yep. Good thing you healed him because he just took all the damage that he had. He's down to 16. That 16 you gave him is all he has left as this creature. Boom, boom. And you guys just squeeze him with its arms. All right, that'll bring us to Rawl. He is going to use... He can't afford to miss here. He is going to use Unerring Strike and automatically deal 3d10 fire damage to this thing.
Okay.
So that's going to be 10... 14 points of fire damage, which isn't bad.
Nice.
It's not nearly enough for this creature. And you can use your reaction to move if you'd like to, Kireek.
I will move so that I'm in flanking with the hulking brain.
Okay. That brings us to your turn.
Okay.
What would you like to do?
I think I'm going to try Beam Gaze. You unleash a sickening beam of force at a creature you can see within range, within 120 feet. Target must make a Constitution saving throw or take 3d10 force damage on a failed save. So I'm targeting Usveldroth.
Okay. Sorry, what was that type of save again?
Constitution.
Ooh, he did roll pretty well. Yeah, that's a 22.
22. Okay. Do I want to try taking on a strain to make him roll again? Okay, hold on. Let me manifest this thing first. So let me roll my manifestation die. That's a 6. Okay, so I take no strain. All right, since I took no strain, I'll take the additional strain to overwhelming power. When a creature succeeds on a saving throw against a power you manifest, gain strain equal to the power order to force the creature to re-roll with a -4 penalty. It must use the new roll.
Hell yes. All right, -4. That means he's going to add +1, which takes it to a total of 15.
Misses.
Okay.
Okay, so 3d10 force damage.
He does not resist this.
19.
Not bad at all.
Okay.
So you deal 19 force. Describe how this happens. What does this look like?
Like how the air gets hazy during like a heat wave or something like that. Just the air between Kireek and Usveldroth sort of like begins to ripple in that same mirage-like way, as just a beam of force damage just ejects from Kireek into Usveldroth. Additionally, on a failed save, a target suffers your choice of one of the following effects for the duration, and it can make a save at the end of its turn. The target is poisoned, the target's speed is halved and they can't take reactions, and attack rolls against the target are made with advantage. I'm going to choose the last option. Attack rolls against the target are made with advantage.
Okay. That will then be his turn. What is he going to do? You do this horrible thing to him, and he feels this psychic attack upon him.
Bring that one. Hurry.
And it is going to use... It's going to use a melt. Choose a manufactured piece of metal armor or metal object such as armor or a weapon. Jesus, I can't read. Choose a manufactured mundane metal object no larger than medium, such as a metal weapon or a suit of armor that you can see. He's going to choose the suit of armor. You cause it to glow red hot.
Oh, jeez.
If the object is being worn, that creature must make a dexterity saving throw. On a failed save, they take 5d10 fire damage, and the armor melts into the item melts into useless slag. He's going... Oh, wait, hold on. What's the DC? DC 15. As this creature, he is going to succeed, so he's going to take half the damage, and it's not going to melt. But you watch as, this thing's eyes glow, and there's that same haze, but it's going towards his armor, and he just kind of squirms and puts the body of the Hulk between he and Uzveldjoth before it can finish the attack. So he's going to take half of 5d10.
Oh my goodness.
Here's the good news. He resists fire damage.
Okay.
So it's actually going to be quartered, whatever I roll. That's a lot of 9s. 9, 18, 27, 32, 40. So it's 40
Quartered.
down to 20, down to 10, which leaves him with 6 hit points.
Okay. Sure. I guess this can work. We can make this work.
And then it is the Hulking Brain's turn. The Hulking Brain is going to use Squeeze. Each creature grappled by him must make a strength save, taking 4d10 bludgeoning on a fail. I'm going to roll this in front of the table here. He's got a plus 6 to strength, so he's got a 50-50 to succeed on this.
Who's he targeting?
He's squeezing Rawl.
Oh, okay. Oh my goodness.
Rawl succeeds.
Nice.
He's going to take half of 4d10.
Oh.
Here we go. So he has 6 hit points left. The 4d10 needs to roll 11 or lower.
Oh.
It's a 13.
That's so... Man.
You see it begins to squeeze Rawl. He gets the sword up next to him, and for a moment you think he's going to try to slice this creature's hand to free himself, and then instead he slices the strap on his bag, and it thud hits the ground. As he looks at you, he doesn't have the air to say anything in his lungs. You can see that his red skin is turning purple, and then his eyes flutter shut as all the breath goes from him. The hulking brain is going to walk 15, 20, 30 within reach of Vivisector Uzveldjoth.
Do I have a reaction?
There is a reaction attack if you can take one, yes.
I don't think I have anything.
You can try to claw or something if you'd like.
Sure, yeah. I'll claw.
You could attempt to grab him as well, I think.
Can
Hold
I
on,
grab
let me
creatures
check out the
larger
new
than me?
Well, you can look up grappling in the player's handbook, the new rules, baby. Yeah, I think you can.
Okay. It's still strength versus strength / dex?
No, it's actually just an attack roll with your unarmed strike, so this would be strength plus proficiency.
Oh, okay. Well,
That's
my
the new
strength is a
rules, is you
0,
just-
so this is just +4.
Okay.
Oh, that's a 14, though. 18. And you know what? I'll use 3 of my pressure points to bring that up to a 21.
All right. Grapple. Okay, so now that you've hit it with an unarmed strike, now he must make a strength or dexterity saving throw, or have the grapple condition.
Okay.
And the DC is 8 plus your strength, which is 0 plus 4. So it's a DC. He has a strength save DC 12.
Oh, it wasn't. Okay, it's not.
I thought you just had to grab it, but it's both. You have to hit with an attack, and then they make the roll, which seems very slow to me.
Okay.
It's a DC 12. He rolls with a plus 5. Here we go.
Oh shit!
That's only a 9.
Wow.
Tell me how Kireek grapples the hulking brain.
He'll grab it. He'll try to grab it with both 3 arms. Technically, his left arm, which has the 2 that branch from the elbow, will dig its claws into the forearm of one of the arms of the hulking brain, and the other one will, the tentacles that are sort of wrapped around his right arm, will try to also wrap itself around the other arm of the hulking brain.
Hell yeah, digging in your feet, claws go in, you feel the thin purple liquid, much thinner than blood, more like water, begin to trickle out from the little puncture wounds of your claws. He's grappled. He used his action to squeeze. That'll bring us to Rawl. Rawl is unconscious, but he's actually not dying. They're trying to take him alive, so he's not making death saves. And that brings us to you, Kireek.
Okay. I don't think it's worth it to try and get Rawl back. Well, it might be to get Rawl back up. Because the hulking brain will have a turn before Rawl gets to go. So as long as the hulking brain just doesn't immediately...
It has to break your grapple.
Oh, okay, so it's going to be spending its action
move.
trying to break my grapple anyway.
Yes.
Is my speed reduced to 0, or can I still move with the grapple again?
As long as you remain within range of him, you're good.
Okay.
He's too big for you to pull, though.
That's fine. I will move 5-10 to Rawl. And I will do Mind Surgeon. As an action, touch one creature and gain up to 4 strain. For each strain gained, either regain 1d10 HP, cure 1 disease, or neutralize 1 potion effect. So I'll gain the whole 4. Yeah. I'll gain the whole 4 to heal for 4d10.
Okay, Jesus, you're healing him 4d10?
Yeah.
Okay.
I need Rawl back in this fight. Oh, that's good. 10, 16, 24.
24, damn, okay.
Yeah.
He's at 24.
I will use my bonus action to Psychic Boost. I can use my bonus action once per long rest to remove 4 strain. So, the 4 strain that I just accumulated, I immediately vent it.
Hell yes. Okay, and that leaves you at how much strain?
8.
That will bring us... Does that end your turn?
Yeah.
That'll bring us to Vivisector Ooze Velvjoth. You don't wear any armor, right?
No. I have a tattoo that gives me 12 plus 1 armor class.
Alright. He has a reach of 10 feet. Oh, this is tough. This is tough. Can he move you? Can he get rid of you? Let me see. So here's what he's going to try to do. He's going to try to take down Rawl. And if Rawl's unconscious, then it doesn't matter. He will teleport with them.
Okay.
If Rawl does not go unconscious, and you gave him 24 hit points, if he does not go unconscious, then he will be left behind when the Vivisector uses Translate. He is going to... Rawl is restrained by the hulking brain, so he's going to roll at advantage. He rolls with a +7. Rawl has a 15 armor class, so let's roll 2d20. Between 2d20 with +7, he needs to hit an 8 on one of these in order to hit Rawl. The highest is a 15, so there is no crit, but he will hit.
Yeah.
That is 2d10 plus 4 psychic damage. I actually think...
Surely not.
I think that it can't because he has 25, right?
24.
Didn't you roll?
So if it rolls
24?
max
Okay.
damage...
He'd have to roll max damage. Which he
Okay.
will not. Raw will take 13. And then he's not going to stick around. He's going to move one more time. He was within 10 feet of both the Enucleator and the hulking brain. And he says...
We will find more fodder. Come.
His tentacles, which are very long, reach out. One wraps around the hulking brain, the other around the Enucleator, and he will use Translate. Boom! Flattens out of existence and teleports away.
Shit.
Rawl. Thud.
Oh, good one. Good one.
Well done there.
Kireek doesn't have the words to ask, "Are you all right?" Because I don't think he's ever heard a mind flayer ask, "Are you all right?"
Yeah, he kind of looks at you and goes,
Yep, I'll be okay. Just need to sleep for a week or more, maybe.
oh, I really thought I was a goner there. Picks up the pack that he had just cut the strap of. Well, kind of slinks it over his shoulder best he can. Oh. So that was pretty bad. You ever seen anything like that before? It looked like a mind flayer, but it was like... It had like a fire beetle, like, face. And also fire beetle fire. Not used to that.
Have I seen, like, mind flayers experimenting on themselves? Because my experience is...
Never.
Yeah.
Never.
I recognize the mind flayer, but not in form. That is unnatural to me.
I don't suppose they ever experiment on themselves.
Kireek shakes his head.
So that means he starts counting on his fingers, even though it's only a couple. We've got a third party involved. Someone who isn't us and isn't the mind flayers, but is using a mind flayer. Who wanted the, that thing. He points to where there's just a big crater in the ground.
The enucleator.
Oh, I feel like I should writing all this down. Okay. Alright. So, someone did that to the mind flayers and wants the enucleator. And they've got it now, along with the brain. And that was what was causing the mutant flower. I think it's all coming together. I don't like it.
Kireek nods.
Well, he goes over and looks at the crater. Unless you can track a teleport, I guess this is the end of the line.
Actually, Austin, I have a psionic ability that allows... No, I don't. I don't.
I was curious if you might have something that lets you track creatures.
The closest I have is that sharpened senses, but that is hidden creatures, doors, objects, or
Yeah.
traps in my immediate surroundings.
Which is extremely useful. But yeah, they are far away at this point. He says, good news is, I know a difference between a teleport and a plane shift. That was definitely the first one, which means they're still somewhere here in the Beastlands. Just a question of where. He goes over to the cliff and looks out, and you see the huge expanse, the rainforest and the greenway beyond, and way off in the distance, the rover Oceanus. It's a big fucking plane. Turns towards you. What are you gonna do now?
Hunt the next. And you.
Well, I had to go back to the Grove. kind of doubt I'm going to find anyone there, but like I said, it's always good to check in. I leave notes, you know. Then, for me, on to the next thing, too. Here, though. He takes the pack off his shoulder, fishes through, reaches and grabs something, and holds it out to you. You see that in his hand is one of the medallions that hangs on his armor, the profile of the unicorn. If you ever want to compare notes about what's going on, you can find me in the Grove of the Unicorn. As long as you're wearing that, it'll let you in.
Kireek gives a nod.
Could I give you a lift anywhere? Pulls out flying carpet from his backpack.
The interloper from before
In reference to the treacle lily.
held unique properties I wish to study.
Mm-hmm.
But afterwards,
Fair enough.
if I may,
And just kind of like gestures to the medallion.
Come and find me. Or, come and find us. I'll let them know you're coming, so no one's too spooked. Don't worry.
Kireek gives a nod.
Alright. Hey. Good luck, friend. And thanks for saving me. Pretty sure I would have been twice dead today if it wasn't for you.
He'll echo back in Rawl's voice. Good luck, friend.
Well, I'm not gonna get used to that anytime soon. Flips out the carpet, steps aboard, gives a nod, and begins to lift up and fly, losing him in the brightness of Celira, the son of Gugala. Kireek, just like the start of today, you are once again on your own. What would you like to do?
I think he'll spend some time taking a short rest, just kind of taking a breather from everything that's happened. He'll use up some of his hit die to vent some strain. Yeah.
Okay. You sit, you hear the birds, you hear the beetles, the monkeys of this jungle. Feel the sun. Everything is dry now. The morning rain has long since passed the storm that marks the new day. When you're ready, you're able to go back down to the ruins of this strange temple and find the remains of the treacle lily.
I wish to harvest this, Austin.
All right. So I'm still learning these rules, so let's go ahead and make me a nature check.
It's a natural 1. So that's a 10. I'll use 3 of my pressure points to bring that up to a 13, which still isn't very good, but I'm trying anyway.
No.
Yeah.
You go to harvest this. Acid. The benefit of the acid was that it was going to, if you used it in any, if it's used to cast a spell as a material component for any spell that deals acid damage, it increases the damage. But sadly, that is too low a check. But as you're down on the ground, you go to harvest it. Instead, you accidentally poke something. Rather, you feel something poking you, and it causes you to, as you shift, accidentally pop the sort of sack that is holding this acidic liquid. You move your head out of the way before you are horrifically scarred for a second time. But shifting around, you find that there is, on the ground underneath where you're just lying, a knife.
Interesting. I pick it up.
It appears to be made out of bone, and it has it's very intricate, and it has a serpent's head as the pommel.
Interesting. I don't have any
Kireek.
identifying spells, so this is just a
Yeah,
bone
go for
knife with a serpent's head pommel to me.
Yes, you'll need to spend some time with it. But in the meantime, since I assume you're not going to take a short rest again, you pocket the knife, and what would you like to do as we come to the end of our session? Many more things still to find and hunt. Where do you plan to go, and how does Kireek feel after the events of today?
I think Kireek will spend some time, I don't know how long, just trying to continue on the same path that he's been doing before, just trying to find any more abominations, mind killers, intellect devourers of the like. But then, like, at one moment, he'll just kind of echo a single word that Rawls said to him. Lonely. And it's probably at that time that he kind of looks at the medallion and decides to try and head over to the Unicorn Grove.
Okay. And with that, you make your way to go hopefully find some new friends. And that is where we're going to end this session.
Woo! Awesome.
All right, well done, Noir. It's not the easiest thing to play one-on-one.
Well done yourself.
It's also not the easiest thing to DM one-on-one, but
you got to do this 3 more times. So good. Well done to yourself.
Yeah. Well, thank you. And thank you all for listening. I hope you enjoyed this solo session, this first foray into the Beastlands, the beginning of the adventure of the hunting party.
Mm-hmm.
We will catch you again next week with Campaign 3, Season 1, Episode 2, where we will meet Sophia's character.
And
we'll see you then.
All right. Farewell.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode of Hunting Party, a Rolling with Difficulty adventure. We'll be back next week with another walk on the wild side, but until then you can find us on socials or on the Rolling with Difficulty Discord server. If you enjoyed the show, please leave a like, rate, and review us on your preferred podcast platform, and if you really enjoyed the show, consider becoming a patron for even more exclusive content created by the cast and monthly live patron hangouts with the cast over on Discord. All that and more can be found linked in the show notes below. Got all that? Good. The quarry is yours. Happy hunting.